How do you wish to spend your New Year's? Um, is something that many people will be thinking about. Many people will probably wonder what are their resolutions. Maybe many of you will write them down, and many of you will have resolutions for your twin flame journey as well. So, I just want to share a few themes around these New Year resolutions, that you're writing. What are some of the themes that you can align with, that you can um, take inspiration from and start to practice this, right? So, the first thing will be that practice presence of mind, practice mindfulness. So, wherever you are, if you can ground yourself back into the present moment rather than thinking about what you're thinking and thinking that you are the thought or aligning with the thought to form a sense of identification with the thought. That is the biggest resolution that you can basically have for this new year, is to be in the present moment space of thoughtlessness and of being. And there are various ways to do this. There are ways to be more in your body, to be more with your breath, to be more with what you see, to be more with your five senses, and to be involved with what you're doing through mindfulness, to be aware of the thoughts, especially the thoughts that have a charge. So, why thoughts about your twin flame are very addictive? It's simply because those thoughts carry a lot of charge. They have an emotional charge. So, if you're aware of how the thought about your twin flame has an emotional charge, if you can just observe it and notice it, then you don't have to give in to that thought and give in to that urge that that thought is trying to create in you or trying to lead you towards. You can just look at it and you can just distance yourself from it, right? So, being in awareness is a great resolution for everyone in general, whether or not they are on the journey. It makes no difference, but it is very important that the whole purpose of our human life is to live the life and not to ponder, over life, not to constantly wonder what is happening and why is it happening, and constantly be in that analytical state which the mind puts us in, which the society conditions us to value. And there is so much of a value of analysis, that very little value is placed on presence. And knowing that the divine feminine energy is about presence and less about analysis can really set you free. So, this can be, whatever are your New Year resolutions. This can be one theme that you can ensure that you have in your list if you want to. It's a great theme to have, and you can even break it down. You can even start to go into how will you create this present moment awareness, right? A second part of this can be, your meditation, your exercise routine, because for twin flame journey, it is important that you are in a high vibrational state, to have a harmonious connection with your twin. And we are only in a harmonious state when we are not, doing the same things day after day, and we've kind of leveled up. So that leveling up needs some actions from your end. And almost indisputably, the action of meditating, the action of exercise, both of these actions are actions that put you in a high vibrational state. So, whatever that looks like for you, whatever exercise you enjoy, and whatever you like doing with regards to your meditative practices, if you want to go deeper, you want to take a step ahead and learn a form of a meditation that you can do every day, or whatever it is that you want to do, if you can incorporate that daily into your life, that will 100% shift you, and you will be in a higher vibrational state. It will help you release overthinking for sure, because exercise helps you to release that constant movement of thoughts. You utilize that energy into physical work, and it no longer then needs to express itself through overthinking. A third part of this is that coming into a state of surrender. So, surrendering basically just means that you allow things to be as they are. So, whatever is your state right now in your journey, in your personal life, however you feel about it, you accept it and you allow it to be, and you don't resist it unnecessarily. So, to come to this state, a greater connection with God is needed, a greater awareness is needed, wherein you know that the will of God, the will of the universe is greater and is basically better for you than your own individual will. It's like in Taoist interpretations, there are always examples given that a child is always crying for something that he wants to eat, like too much candy or whatever. And then he ends up eating a lot of candy. And then later on, when his stomach is upset, he is crying and he's just, upset that he had too much candy. And then his mother tells him that that is why you shouldn't have eaten it. That's why I was telling you not to eat it. It's the same with us, all these desires. I want this now, I want it to be this way, I want my twin flame like this and like that, and all of that desire of imposing our will on some things. What basically that ends up doing is that you have this need at that time, which you think is the only way you can be, which you think is the right thing for you to do. But when you are denied that need or that desire, which happens on the twin flame journey, you start to understand that the denial of those desires in the short run, in the way you expected those desires to be fulfilled for you, the denial of that has actually been good for you. Like separation, you realize, has been good for you because you healed a lot and you got an opportunity to go within and all of those things, right? So this exactly is what your journey is about. You try to level up here by surrendering, by understanding that the will of God is important and it has more wisdom than the wisdom that I, as a puny little individual with a puny little mind, try to think I have. I have very limited wisdom. Even divine wisdom is the wisdom of not the mind of the individual. It's a state in which the divine wisdom is channeled, whether it is channeled through a state of, non doing, it's channeled through a state of a flow state wherein you're not thinking, you're not analyzing, you're just able to share. So that is when the divine wisdom flows through you. It's not the wisdom of your mind at all. So these aspects, if you can remember these, they will be very useful for you. And the last one that I will tell you about, like a very good New Year resolution for you, is to feel, whatever you are feeling, what your twin has triggered inside of you are great entry points for you to dissociate yourself from that pain by completely feeling that pain, to finally be freed from that pain rather than dissociation. Actually, the correct word is going to be freed from that pain that your twin triggers in you, and to know that that pain always has its source elsewhere. It's not your twin that is the source of the pain, it's the twin who is triggering the pain which is present inside already. And this goes to working on your subconscious mind, this goes to working on your inner child self, your inner self, whatever comes up. It's very transformational to do it on many levels because it helps you to clear away your energetic blocks as well as to be more neutral around your twin flame connection and not be charged up or always confused or worried or upset about your twin flame journey because of what you're experiencing through your emotions. So emotions are basically just your guiding light, and utilizing your awareness to look at your emotions, to allow yourself to feel those emotions, can really, really lead you to be more freed as an individual, to become more aware as an individual, to become more neutral in your energy with your twin flame, to become more present with yourself, right? So these four themes literally are, some very essential themes for your twin flame journey, and they all go together. You can basically, if you are not even doing anything on your journey, and you can just align with these four, and whatever brings you back to these four, there is no, there are no like specific action points here, that you can necessarily say that are the only action points to take. These will include your individual action points, how you like to meditate, how you like to do your subconscious work, what brings you into surrender. Different people come into surrender through different things. And each of these parts that I mentioned are basically, they are all interrelated with each other, right? So overall, you can just choose to not be in that obsessive energy of thinking about your twin, or focusing on them, or blaming them, or something like that. But this can be a year for you to redirect everything back to you, to come back to your completeness that you already have, to come back to your space of self-sufficiency. Those are some areas that you can basically work around. And if you want to work one-on-one with me, I'm offering a variety of packages now, variety of ways in which you can work with me one-on-one. All you have to do is email me, and I will tell you about how you can work with me and what I'm offering, especially to clear off your subconscious blocks, to bring you into a more healed state. And if you have inner child trauma or inner self trauma, these are very powerful, very useful and effective sessions, utilizing spiritual psychology, to go within and finally fully release all of these blocks and come into a greater alignment with your true self, with your twin flame, and with your journey and your process of ascension. Have a beautiful day and have a beautiful new year. Take care.